Here we're going to begin an occasional weekend series going through the Greek Psalms. This is Psalm 2, verses 1 to 3. Hinati efruaxan ethne, kai laoi emelettesan kena. Parestesan hoi basileis teis geis, kai hoi archontes sun ekthesan epito auto. Kata tu kuriu, kai kata tu Christu autu. Diapsalma. Diarexomentus desmus auton, kai aporipsomen aphemon ton zugon auton. We begin here with this question, hina ti. This stands in for what could just be the interrogative ti, that is, why? Hina ti, together, for what reason, or why? Why, and that's the question that ends here, why do the nations, ethne, this plural from our word ethnos rather, this third declension neuter of the os type, why do the nations become arrogant, or why did they arrogantly put themselves forward? Efruaxan is an aorist active indicative, third plural, from what is usually in the present a deponent verb, fruasomai. Sometimes in the New Testament and the Psalms it appears as an active verb. Here we have it with an active aorist, but in broader literature it's usually deponent. But it means to be arrogant, to exalt oneself, to neigh if it's of horses, but to be wanton or insolent or something like that. So why did the nations make themselves arrogant? And the peoples practice themselves, worry about, take care about things in vain. So busy themselves in vain is the sense here. Emeletesan is another aorist active indicative. This one from meletao, to practice in, to occupy one's time in. And then kena, vain things, from the adjective kenos, here probably used as the adverb in vain. The kings of the earth, hoi basileis teis geis. Here you have your third declension eus type noun in the nominative plural, so eis. The kings of the earth rose up or came present. This is to gather against or to gather together. Parestesan from parhistemi. And the rulers, hoi archontes, those who govern, gathered together, sunekthesan. This is from sunago, I gather. Ekth there is your clue that this is the aorist passive indicative, ason, third plural, from sunago. So they gathered together. This is passive in a kind of medial sense, not they were gathered, but they did gather themselves together. Epi to auto. This can either mean together or for the same purpose, or at the same place. And the rulers gathered themselves together for the same purpose. Kata tu kuriu, against the Lord. Kata plus the genitive often has this adversarial sense. So against the Lord, then repeated, and against tu Christu autu, against his anointed, his Christ. We then find this word that pops up throughout the Psalms, diapsalma, which is, as far as we can tell, some sort of a pause in the singing or of the instrumentation. So a pause in the psalm, a pause for the musical interlude. We then get what these kings of the earth and rulers say, beginning in verse 3, and you can tell through the shift to the first person plural here and here. Diarexomen comes from diaregnumi, so diaregnumi. I tear apart, I burst asunder. This is in the first person plural aorist subjunctive, so you can see that gamma of the root turning into a xi with the addition of the sigma, the long omega vowel telling us that it's subjunctive. This is a first-person plural subjunctive with no introductory clues like a hina, so it leads us to think it's likely to be a hortatory subjunctive. Let us burst, let us shatter. Then you get the accusative direct object, tus desmus auton, their bonds, the bonds that they placed upon us. The auton here in reference, of course, to kuriou and Christou autou, the Lord and his Christ. So let us burst apart their bonds as the bonds they placed upon us. And kai aporipsomen, this is from aporipto, I throw away, I throw off. Again, we have the aorist hortatory subjunctive. This C is from the addition of the sigma to this root, this long omega, showing us that we have a subjunctive, so another hortatory subjunctive. Let us cast off, aphemon, from ourselves, ton zugon, auton, their yoke, the yoke that they have put upon us. So this is the introduction to Psalm 2, when the kings rage against the Lord.